It is Rey Skywalker's Sunday evening. Come, let us explore the strongest spiritual tool ever, meditation's hidden powers. Together as a team, let's relaxingly recite the spiritual Swiss Army knife that is mindfulness and meditation. Un momento, s'il vous plaît. Okay, let's say copy. Let's try to hit copy and move on. The Nobel laureate Albert Einstein is said to have quipped, "Any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent. However, it takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction." In a vast ocean-like throng of rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel fools, there are many who insist that enlightenment is attainable only by the special few, who live in a special place, in a special time, with special companions, and have received special teachings from a special teacher because they're so damn special and we're not. But that is not what the Buddha taught. Real or archetypical, he taught that enlightenment was as simple as mastering the Eightfold Path, and that could be done in as little as 7 days. How egalitarian is that? The key to this, number 1, right view that empowers letting go. 2, 4 points of right love. And the effortless effort of having choices, utterances, and deeds flow from love's centered spontaneity is simply mindfulness and meditation. Four, when practiced enthusiastically, sustainably, and effectively, mindfulness and meditation are the spiritual equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. In the golden age of proto-Buddhism, before the folly of institutionalism set in like black mold infesting a cabin in the woods, the only teachings were the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which contained the essence of all morality, which is loving kindness, or metta. Remember, actively striving to focus upon or analyze loving kindness could produce nothing more than a mere analog, pale and flaccid and worthless and weak. For the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived, is the effortless byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. Yearning to do the loving thing is all well and fine. But how could we know what that right thing is? What the most kind manner is in which to do it? And when the most kind time is in which it must be done? Centered spontaneity. When our choices, utterances, and deeds flow from the centered spontaneity, which in turn is generated by our practice of mindfulness and meditation, love's kindness is as natural, effortless, and potent as our next breath. For those of us who are keen to devote ourselves to an Ajahn, Roshi, Shifu, or Lama, our ultimate teacher is simply our mindfulness and meditation. For the sole purpose of the outer teacher is to acquaint us with the inner one, which could be done in but a single sitting. For those who are keen to make offerings, there is no finer object of such gifts than our teacher, who is kind enough to give us instructions and answer our questions. Although optional donations could be lovely, the greatest offering we could make to our teacher is none other than the enthusiastic and sustainable practice of their instructions, whose essence is none other than mindfulness and meditation. For those of us who enthusiastically seek protection from the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Good evening, Shivi. There is no greater safety to be had than by passively noticing whatever past, present, or potential dreads spontaneously cartwheel across the metaphoric stage of our mind as we effortlessly sit in mindfulness. And then viscerally relax in harmony with meditation's next exhalation. For those of us who are eager to manifest the fulfillment of all mental, interpersonal, physical, and circumstantial needs, we but only have to vulnerably notice the various and sundry desires that dance like sugar plums in children's dreams as we breathe in, and meditatively relax and release as we breathe out. Recent centuries have seen a rise in the popularity of training in the 3 marks of reality, or tilakkhana. Yet, as we sit in mindfulness once every 12 hours or so, we cannot help but automatically notice, recall, or anticipate stress, or dukkha. And as we meditatively relax into our exhalations, we cannot help but viscerally experience how that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel temporary or anicca, and as non-graspable as if they simply were not us, or anatta. Even the tyranny exerted by the 5 mental poisons over our choices, utterances, and deeds is easily tamed through mindfulness and meditation. First, as we meditatively relax into our exhalation. Whatever dread we vulnerably noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as mirror-like wisdom. Second, as we meditatively release into our exhalation, whatever desire we passively noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as empty as discerning wisdom. Third, as we meditatively relax into our exhalation, whatever turmoil we vulnerably noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as all-pervading wisdom. Fourth, as we meditatively release into our exhalation, whatever jealousy we randomly noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as void as all-accomplishing wisdom. Fifth, as we meditatively relax into our exhalation, whatever pride we fleetingly noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as equalizing wisdom. Each complex life form upon this big blue marble we call Earth has evolved to be hedonistic at heart. Yet, no thing, being, or phenomena can give us as much of the bliss on tap as that which is afforded to us by the easy practice of mindfulness and meditation. Come, let us walk in the Buddha's footsteps, practicing mindfulness and meditation. In preparation for our formal meditation practice, let us spend approximately 30 seconds on housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. This brings us to the very latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Together. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Upon the tip of our left little finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, palms up in our lap. Let us review the mechanics of mindfulness and meditation. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice. What do we do with that which we notice? We meditate. You see, every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Understanding that competing against our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems by relying upon such discrete neural pathways as our medial prefrontal cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex to both concentrate and contemplate does nothing but fatigue our prefrontal cortex and trigger our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Therefore, recognizing the need to not compete against but cooperate with our sympathetic as well as parasympathetic nervous systems, the question remains, what's the most efficient way to do that? Simple. Every time we feel breath enter our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. And every time we feel our breath leave our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb, ease. Patriarchy promotes elitism. Oopsie, that's a mistake. Let's see if I can fix that. And in that elitism, they often infer through contemporary statuary that if one wishes to be enlightened, one must master the full lotus position. However, in days of yore, Buddha statues depicted the quarter lotus pose that could be mastered by virtually anybody who tried. In the quarter lotus pose, one leg rests upon the other. We do not turn out from the knees, for they are merely hinge joints. Instead, we turn out from the hips, for those are ball and socket joints. We try to assume this pose as clumsily as we are able, as imperfectly as we are able, and then let time and gravity do their work, playing with this pose for as little as 5 minutes once every 12 hours. Within a week or two, we can sit quite comfortably. Together as a team, let us practice right now. Do not be surprised when irritants and annoyances cartwheel across the stage of our mind. That's an opportunity to notice and relax. upon the tip of our left ring finger. We could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception. You know, sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. So weird how that symbol changes. Oh well. Every time we exhale, we are wired by our parasympathetic nervous system to both physically relax and mentally release. Each time we feel our breath enter our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite this. Every time we feel our breath leave our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite ease. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all manner of phenomena. From the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Therefore, every time we feel air enter our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. And every time we feel air exit our nostrils, we can silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. Good evening and welcome to the final fifth of this evening's practice. Whoops, I'm mistaken. Our fourth fifth. Counting, what a concept. Upon the tips of each of our left fingers, we could rest the great knuckles at the base of each of our right fingers, palms up in our lap. Each time we relax into our exhalation, whatever dualities such as pain or bliss, we might have noticed during our previous inhalation, could begin to feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just the physical. Every time we feel our breath enter our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. Each time we feel our breath leave our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist recitation, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up, in our lap. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever greed we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if it was becoming discerning wisdom. As we breathe in, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. As we breathe out, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.